Last night, Miami beat the defending national champions in the Cotton Bowl 24-14 after Ohio State was the clear favorite. I think they were, a 9.5 point favorite in this game. I'm going to talk a little bit about what went down and what that means for Miami moving forward. But first, welcome to another college football podcast because there's so many out there. Why not another one? It's hard to not want to talk about college football. So I hope you'll subscribe. I hope you'll pass it along. It is free, and I do appreciate it. If you'd asked me yesterday about this time, who's going to win this game, Miami or Ohio State? Here's what I would respond to. Oh, are you talking about Miami, the team that did not make it to the conference championship game? They're not in the SEC. They're not in the Big Ten. They're in the ACC, right? Now, on this side of the game, that sounds like a dumb, moronic response. But probably 9 times out of 10, that's going to be the correct response. How many times has a team went in to a game like this as a 10-point underdog against a team like Ohio State and lost? A lot. Miami didn't care about that last night. And I'm going to tell you that the player that I'll walk away from the game most impressed with is Georgia transfer Carson Beck. Now, Carson Beck took a lot of flack in the offseason. Carson Beck even took some flack during this season from the media, whether it's major media or whether it's YouTubers, it doesn't matter. Carson Beck has taken a lot of flack. And I said this throughout this season and even in the preseason. You can say what you want to say about Carson Beck. You can take shots at him here and there, but here's the deal. When the guy's on, the guy's on. And what really impressed me last night is that in the big time moments, instead of taking care of his body and saying, you know what, I don't want that big hit because, the draft is coming up. He didn't do that. He actually sacrificed his body on multiple occasions to get Miami to the finish line. And he did it over and over, multiple times. And so I walk away from this game with a lot of respect for Carson Beck last night. Yeah, he only threw for 138 yards. But the moves he made overall, it won the game. Now, of course, they jumped out to a 14-0 lead. They were up 14-0 at halftime. And in the second half, Ohio State outscored them 14-10. And if you're like me, I was sitting watching this game thinking there's so much time left for the Buckeyes to come back. I've seen this before. It's kind of like a song that you've heard before, and then there's other songs put out like it. And you're like, I'm pretty sure I know how this song is going to go. Let me guess. Especially in country music. The guy fell in love with his high school girlfriend. They broke up. They moved out of town. She went somewhere else. He went to another place. Now, 10 years later, they're back at the old dance that they all used to go to, which I don't even think that happens anymore. But anyway, let's just keep going. She climbs up in his old truck with the dog in the middle, and guess what? They end up rekindling the flame, and now they're married. They're like, oh my goodness. This stuff sells? Yeah, it does. I just knew that Ohio State was coming back. Sure, it was exciting what Miami was doing. And that interception by Keionte Scott, let me tell you this. I have to pause there. Keionte Scott did what I think more DBs need to do and realize when you see a bunch of guys lined up out in the flats, you know what's happening. And this wide receiving core for Ohio State is unbelievable. This wide receiving core for Ohio State is one of the best, if not the best, in the country. So if there's any team that you don't want to play with of trying to jump a quick pass out in the flats, it would be this team. Keontae Scott said, I've heard this song. I know the words. I'm going to jump the route. And it was the most exciting moment of the game, aside from the first down that Miami got at the very end, that they solidified, hey, we're going to have the ball. We're going to hit a field goal. Ball game's going to be over. That was the most exciting moment. And probably one of the most exciting interceptions in all of college football playoff history. And I'm not talking about just the 12-team playoff. I'm talking about the playoff period. That's one of the most exciting ones because who he did it again, when he did it, and how he finished. So I'm looking at more and more defensive backs. I'm looking at more and more defensive coordinators going, hey, guys, when are you going to stop allowing teams, no matter who they are, to just sling the ball out there in the flats? You know it's coming. I mean, it's kind of like those one-handed catches that we see all the time now. You didn't see that until, God, what's that guy's name? He played for LSU, and then he was with the Odell Beckham Jr. That night when I think it was Monday Night Football, he had that crazy catch, one-handed catch. You'd never seen it before. Now you see it all the time. What was impossible and, oh, that's never going to happen again, is now you see that with D3 schools. Guys catching balls like that. I kind of wonder, excuse me, when defensive coordinators and defensive players are going to have that moment with this quick pass out in the flats and they go, yeah, I'm just going to jump the route, pick it, take it to the house. And this was one of the biggest moments to do it against one of the best receiving corps, if not the best receiving corps in all of college football. Keontae Scott said, listen, big-time moments or big-time games, you have to have big-time moments. You can't be scared. He took it to the house. But Miami finishing the game out, limiting Ohio State from coming back and intercepting Julian Sayin twice, that was a big deal. Jeremiah Smith, let's talk about him for a second. Guy comes in, has 7 receptions, 1 touchdown, 157 yards. He's from that Miami area. He almost went to Miami. He decided to go to Columbus. He's had an unbelievable career there. If he could go to the NFL today, he would be picked like that. And guys like him are going to get theirs. You just don't shut down a guy like this. But at the same time, he got his, but Ohio State as a team had to do more. So he had an incredible game. And let's talk about one other player that is, I know that Mesidor had 2 sacks. That was very important. Don't want to take away from that. But let's talk about Mark Fletcher Jr. You know, when you talk about some of the best backs in all of college football, you're not hearing about Mark Fletcher Jr. You're really not. But this guy, 6'2", about 225, 230, he came in last night. And in clutch moments against a tough Buckeyes defense. His Buckeyes defense, it's nothing to sneeze at. He came in and he made the plays when he needed to make the plays. He had 90 yards rushing, but those 90 yards were some of the most important 90 yards I've ever seen in a big-time football game. So Mark Fletcher Jr. did an incredible job. It's crazy. It was crazy. And I'm looking in the live chat right now. Chris Wilson says something interesting. That this might be the first important game where Mario didn't actively try to give the game away with poor game management decisions. And you know what, Chris? I'm not taking shots at Mario Cristobal. I'm just recounting history like you are. Yeah, I just kept waiting for something to happen. And for some of you Miami fans who are out there, you want to say to me, well, you just need to believe. Listen, folks, football teams everywhere of all levels, they believe. They have their slogans. They have their, we unite together as brothers. They all do it. They all believe. But there's also something out there, some decision that is made or not made that costs them consistently, and it has costed Mario Cristobal throughout the entirety of his coaching career at Miami. Over and over and over and over. And last night it didn't. That was a first. I'm sorry. But congratulations to you. You won the Cotton Bowl. You're moving on. You are moving on. So congratulations. Congratulations to you. And we'll see how you do moving forward. We'll see how you do moving forward. But congratulations to the Miami Hurricanes going in and winning. Again, Ohio State, they had a bye. They lost. All the teams who have had a bye, they have lost up to this point. Can you believe that? In the 12-team format, they've all lost so far. And I expect that to change today. We have the Orange Bowl. We have the Rose Bowl. We have the Sugar Bowl. Something will probably change there. But as of right now, if you've had a bye, you've lost. That's crazy. Let me know in the comments what you think about Miami's chances to actually win this and go to the national championships. Or to the national championship. I'd love to hear that. Also, if you like what I'm doing, I hope you'll subscribe, pass it along to all your friends and neighbors who love college football. And yeah, I really do appreciate it. Keep